Let's get straight into it. We'll work towards our champions. We're going to start off with our underachievers. Now, it's a difficult position for me because who do I throw to after talking about underachievers? Nubaid, I'm going to come to you.
Wow.
Just feels like a good fit.
Thank you.
Who are you putting forward as your underachiever for this season?
It was tough. I was between a couple of teams, but I've gone Chelsea, which I know will be very unpopular in West London. I'm already very unpopular in West London.
Yes, on certain platforms you have been going after Chelsea recently.
Yeah, not by design, purely by tactical intuition.
Okay.
Because I've been drinking my hot water like Pep Guardiola.
Right.
Look, I think the reason I'm saying underachievers is because Chelsea wanted to finish close to the title last year and they were nowhere near it in the end. I also back other sides that I won't go into more than I back Chelsea. I don't think they've had a great window.
What would you consider achievement for Chelsea?
Third. They have to finish third.
Right.
With the players Tuchel's got, considering... And there's always going to be this talk of Tuchel hasn't spent that much money, but this is a brilliant squad. If I pass this squad to Pep or Klopp, they're going to compete for the title. Now, I've gone on about this over and over again. Competing isn't actually getting close to Liverpool and City. It's getting within like 8
Throwing
points.
distance.
Yeah, where you can feel them, where you can smell them.
Yeah.
The problem is like...
Looked at Will there.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I can smell
I
them.
showered. It was just early on.
You don't seem happy about that shout. I don't know why.
No, I'm just... I'm looking at the lower end of the table, so it's a bit too dizzy up there for me. I'm getting a few nosebleeds talking about the top four.
Oh, who are you going for?
I've actually gone for Leicester City.
It's an obvious choice. Boring. Will. Boring
I think
Brazier.
Chelsea's the obvious
I
choice.
think we wrote these 24 hours ago, and even then it's sort of changed. I mean, they've signed nobody. That whole spine's going. Schmeichel, Fofana, Maddison's on the go. Tielemans. It doesn't look good for me, Jim.
Yeah, I've gone for Leicester City as well. I think it's a dangerous time for them. If you think of where you want to get to, kind of using the same formula as you said, if you think of Leicester City, last season, they actually finished kind of where you thought they would finish. The previous 2 years, fifth, wasn't it? Nearly in the Champions League.
Yeah.
They are stagnating. They're going backwards. And if they lose Maddison in particular, if they lose Maddison and Fofana, forget about Tielemans, they're in trouble in terms of where they will finish. They will be nowhere near eighth. They'll be a long, long way down.
In a word then, where should they finish?
With everyone there?
Yeah.
I think they should be finishing eighth if they do that.
I generally think they could be lower bottom half. Just even like Schmeichel, I know he's 35, he's leaving, but one of the good things about Leicester has been that change room, the dressing room, the sort of spirit. He's a leader, he's gone, and that whole spine could be gone by the start of the season.
It doesn't feel good.
It stinks a bit. I know I stink, that stinks a little bit as well.
Okay.
I'll still back Chelsea. From under to over, I'm going to go to my one and only overachiever,
Thank
James
you.
Allcott, who's
see.
overachieving this
Now
season.
I look like the bad guy. I'm going to go with Nottingham Forest. Now, a lot of people are getting very nervous about the amount of changes that they've made. But again, in terms of league positions, for a team coming up through the playoffs, where you would expect them to finish, everyone would expect them to finish 20th. But Nottingham Forest have made a lot of moves, and the important thing is those moves are with players that fit the profile of the players that they're replacing. Lewis O'Brien, Toffolo, Awani, Brennan Johnson. I really like Brennan Johnson. And he's obviously one of the few that have remained. And of course, Jesse Lingard, ready to tear it up again. I just think they'll be absolutely fine and safe, a bit like Brentford last year. And I think that's an overachievement for a team that comes up through the playoffs.
I agree.
You on Forest as well?
No, I'm not, I just agree with Jim.
Cheers, Will.
He's a good lad.
Whatever he says, you're like,
So who's your overachiever?
I've gone for Nottingham. No, I've gone for Southampton, which I feel is a big shout. A lot of people put them in their bottom three.
It's brave.
But I just feel, whereas you look at Leicester, everything's been tore up. You just want a bit of stability. Ralph Hasenhüttl, very good manager. They've bought well. 15th last season to what's overachieving. Top 10, maybe pushing some of those European competition places.
top 10 for Southampton.
Punching.
I think the way that I think Leicester could come down. I think if Southampton get it right, very well run club, new ownership's going well. They've lost no one.
You're going to look great when this
I'm
comes
not going to
together.
look great because their start of the season is awful.
Yeah.
But on the eye test, Jim.
Hold your nerve.
Salisu last year, one of the standout performers, kept him. I think they can really kick on.
Gone with the youngsters, haven't they? I like your shout for overachiever.
Leeds.
Give it to me.
Leeds. Obviously, Calvin Phillips gone, which immediately fans were like, they've lost. Without Calvin Phillips, this is the win percentage and all of that. And I love stats as much as the next guy. But they brought in Mark Rocker, who I absolutely love. But even more so, Tyler Adams. I can't get enough of this guy. I think he's so good in possession. And I think they've actually bought a perfect pair to replace Calvin Phillips. The only ever so slight worry is if Bamford gets injured, they're in the same cycle they were last year. But I do love my boy Joey Geldart. No one calls him Joey, only I do. I don't know why. But I think overachieving for them is probably 10th. 10th is a really good finish for Leeds, considering if we're saying Leicester 8th, 9th, 10th is a tight spot. Anything above 10th, Jesse Marsh has done an absolute job.
Do you think they finish above Southampton?
Absolutely, I do. I think Southampton are struggling this
rivalry
season.
was born.
Yeah. Exactly, there you go. Leeds Southampton rivalry is born now. Let us know in the comments who's going to finish higher, Leeds or Southampton. I'll chuck Nottingham Forest in there as well.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube, and for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app, and for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.